So Dreamscape all wrapped up, I wanted to go over all of my rewards that I ended up gaining, and I will say I do think that the event was probably the most rewarding. Not too surprising, just based off of the early math alone, I was like, it probably will be, but at the same time, you know, I mean, I already went over it, but it still didn't feel the most rewarding, but anyway. So the first day, I didn't screenshot that one, but luckily I screenshotted everything else. Come day 2, this is the day where I max refresh to try out buying the gem boxes. So first day I refreshed max, and I was able to get about 100 boxes in that day, and I went for the gem boxes. So in the first gem box, we got 650 gems. And in the second 50, we got 680, so about 1,300, a net loss of 500 gems. But I think doing this did allow me to clear out at least the entire perfect lattice in the exchange shop. So I'm not sure how it looked for free-to-plays as far as the exchange shop went, but you know, I'd trade 500 gems for a perfect lattice any day of the week. The rest of the days, I think I did get a couple more keys, but I don't think I did another full refresh. But let's see here. I was able to clear out all of the fragment boxes, but pretty much nothing else. So these screenshots are all going to be of 50 boxes pulled. Let's see, the next set was 14 shards, then 12, then 7, then 7, and then 10. So if I'm assuming that the first set of 50 on day 1, because I didn't have it screenshotted, if I assume I think it was around 15, so I'll say 15. In total, that means out of the boxes, I got a whopping 65 perfect lattice shards, so that's one more perfect lattice, and then some change. So I'm not going to beat the point of the event to death. The point is, it was the most rewarding, 100%. But my point still remains that it was not fun to play. It did not feel rewarding going through it. And, you know, I wouldn't have really felt the effect until actually going over the grand total by the end of it. And it did still end up costing me gems, which pretty much no other event is really making you pay gems to get the most bang for your buck, you know, get all the rewards. Which here you wouldn't be getting all the rewards anyway, you know, because of my refreshes. I was also luckily able to get those 2 SR tickets. They landed me nothing, but anyway, and then 5 LD tickets, and then a few other loose purchases, I think just to burn the rest of my currency. I ended up getting like training data or silver, something like that. But you'll see how much of the exchange shop just wasn't cleared out, but I expect that. Bigger problem I had was just the complete weird random spread, even though I tried to very focus the you know, the element I was missing more of, but grabbing light and dark every chance I got, and the numbers were just super skewed. It was just completely way off, so it's not like I was actually able to exchange for other things, even though I had plenty of resources to potentially grab a couple other goodies. Another gripe I had was with the one-time mission rewards. There was these the last day, or the last set of mission rewards, you had to like clear an abyss stage of pretty much every element, but it seemed like it didn't like rotate each time you cycled through all of the stages. It seemed to be somewhat random, but I don't think I heard of any situations where nobody was able to get the abyss thing as long as they did all their stuff every day. But who knows if that is potentially RNG, that you wouldn't have gotten an abyss run of like, say, the blue, you know, you just got green and red or light and dark repeatedly, and you never got blue, so you never got to clear out that one-time mission reward. Again, it might not have actually been possible for that to happen as long as you did all of your given keys, but the fact that it was still up in the air for question would just create tension and unease among players that ended up kind of skirting around there and being like, am I actually going to be able to clear these or not? And then I think my last complaint about the event is mostly, I mean, in general, but especially if you ended up max refreshing, holy shit, does this event take so fucking long to do? You know, if you've got other things going on in your day, even if it's your day off, you've got, you know, you're just trying to get other things done while you let autos sit. You know, those abyss auto runs take fucking forever. And for me, at least personally, some of them were like very RNG dependent, so I kind of had to manual the beginning just to make sure I cleared out a bigger threat, and then I would set it on auto and let it do its thing for a while. But max refreshing that one day took a better part of the day away. So if you have responsibilities, you've got other things going on, the event did not respect your time whatsoever. Which again, I'd be more willing to give them the benefit of the doubt there and be like, that's fine, you know, because I had a lot of fun. But I didn't have a lot of fun, so it was a lot of time spent basically walking away from my computer. So in conclusion with the event, I do want to see it come back. I do want to see it come back better than it came in the first iteration. And you know, I think they can absolutely do that. I think this is a very easy event to adjust and make it a lot more fun. And then unfortunately, this is going to be a pretty slow week as far as anything goes. I mean, we're gonna have to wait for Trek to reset, so that'll come a little after the new events refresh. We've got Cubic and Champions Call back, as well as one of the better RNG events, I would say, Dazzler Pulse. We'll have to wait for at least a week to see as far as any PvE updates, if we're going to see anything along those lines. And I'm wondering if we're going to see a bigger patch coming in, because if people don't know, and go ahead and roast and flame me. Oh, that is not it. RTA, which I'm going to push this a bunch in the last few days, and we'll see where we end up. But the season, I don't know, I don't remember if it got shortened or not, but it's going to wrap up in a couple days here, and we'll get the new season, and that should come with a big balance patch and kind of changing and twisting things up. I expect to see a lot of shell changes potentially. I'm curious how they're going to handle that though, because shell changes is it's a little weird. A lot of people had to spend a lot of time and resources just to build them to begin with, so if they end up getting nerfed, that's going to be pretty bad, especially when we're looking at like some of the top shells. We're looking at well, mostly Revelation, and then the big sets that I think people are wanting to... Another weird one, I don't know if nerfing sets is really going to be a thing. I really hope not, but I know that Bloodbath has been pretty much just the flex tape solution for any problem. It's if a unit can be good in it, it's like just slap Bloodbath on it, and then all of a sudden we're going to start seeing some success. But Bloodbath and Lighthouse. And then as far as character picks go, I really don't see much shifts or changes happening along the lines in there. There are definitely some standout, like very strong characters like Tiamat, but those are more so for the fact of the roster is very small. So there's only certain characters that are really going to be able to fit so many or check off so many boxes really. So I think character shifts are going to be interesting to see, just because the roster is so small. You'll see a lot of people have a lot of the same built units and use a lot of the same teams and characters. But yeah, that'll be very interesting to see how they handle all of that. That's going to be a big make or break moment for the game. Not only just to see how they end up shifting it and try and make the PvP more interesting, but really how they handle all of these changes and whether or not this is going to kind of stir everybody up as far as, you know, mostly nerfs go. So we'll see about that. I'm also curious if they're going to end up actually doing a reset event. I know they're very against that, which I completely understand, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It's definitely going to be very interesting in a couple days, but yeah, that's about it. Thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.